I have to wear mine all the time.
Okay. Right up. Yeah.
That's not like a, yep.
So it was actually better.
We'll stick with it.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think you want to. And then the whole thing is, how many you have with this?
You can't.
You can. Okay. How's that work? Especially.
Are we leaving that?
Okay. Okay. But then if you have, it's basically still the age. Like most people will see that for 5 years.
Yeah, are you all set?
You know, so that's where they're.
Hold on, Good evening. I am going to call the Village of Middleborough Planning Commission meeting to order. Heather, may we have a roll call, please?
Jason Holzhausen,
Here.
Bruce Farrell,
Here.
Richard Hamilton,
Here.
Troy Newman,
Here.
Amanda Pullen.
You're,
Thank you. We have the Pledge of Allegiance on our agenda. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have an agenda in front of us. Actually, before I get to that, we're gonna make slight adjustments to our traditional process here on the planning commission of not discussing things unless we have a motion on the floor to discuss them. So with our agenda, we can get a motion on that agenda. I appreciate it.
I make a motion to approve the, wait, what do you need?
Just a motion.
Okay, Oh. yeah, what Troy just said.
second it.
Thank you, sir.
We have a
You threw me
motion.
for a loop.
We have a motion with a second to approve our agenda. Question?
Troy,
Troy. All right.
I made it halfway and you finished it.
Yeah, okay. Questions, comments, additions, modifications? Doug, you're good? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have our agenda. We have minutes from September 2nd. Who's making that motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from September 2nd as written.
Support.
We have a motion to approve our minutes from September 2nd, 2025. With a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We have our minutes. We are at our first public comment session of the evening. I recognize everybody in the room. I believe so. Developers, right? Yes. Any public comments before we get to business tonight? All right. We have new business. First, that one, there we go. We have a site plan and a special land use for 4695 North M37. A site plan and a special land use for a daycare center. Jessica Palma, good evening.
Good evening.
Come on up. Go ahead and give us your overview of both of those items if you would.
Okay, I didn't make a special presentation, it's just gonna be
You are
me
good.
talking. So my plan is to put in a daycare at 4695 and 37. It's gonna be a pretty simple daycare. We're gonna have 4 rooms and we're gonna only have ages from 0 to 5, on the premises, as I only have limited space just in that one suite, so I have to work with what I got. And so we'll have a license for up to 100 because that's just how licensing, the state licensing works. But I will only ever have a max of 44 kids, in my care in the building at all times. I'll have about 10 staff members somewhere in there, to take care of all of those kids. We've gone over the flow of traffic with a civil engineer, and a playground will be put in the back of the parking lot for our use, which the landlord is helping me put in. That about sums it up. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, just a daycare center. Yeah.
All right.
Do you have any experience?
Hold on.
We'll ask the question,
Yeah, hold on.
Sorry.
When we have questions, we will come back to you after our public hearing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Powers, staff report.
Thank you, Commissioners. So this proposal, as you see before you, this is subject to site plan 2025-02, along with special land use for a daycare facility. The reason being is that this property is zoned C2 highway commercial, as to where daycare centers are viewed as a special use according to our zoning standards. So I have provided the background, as you can see on page 1. That the technical review committee did review these plans, and we have received updated information based on that. So the landlord is proposing the location of the driveway around the vicinity of the proposed playground, so there should be no encroachment there. As well as we have received interior layout drawings, as that was one of the additional concerns that was mentioned upon technical review. So if you go to page 2 of the staff report, you will note the findings or conditions that are required for a special land use approval, where I've noted that each of those conditions are being as met per those conditions. And I have listed at the very bottom of said staff report, I have included, the requested action by the planning commission, being that the motion to approve of said site plan and daycare special use as submitted on September 24th, 2025, with interior layout drawings submitted on October 20th, 2025, subject to the conditions outlined in the recommendation. And certainly, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to help.
Thank you, sir. All right, as this is a special land use, it requires a public hearing with notices did go out, correct?
That is correct.
Thank
You'll
you.
see the attached boundaries as well as the notices. That is an attachment to this application back.
All right, so we are going to suspend our regular meeting and open our public hearing for public comments. Hearing none, we will close our public hearing and resume our regular meeting. Commissioners, we have in the staff report a recommendation, which is written in the form of motion, if somebody is so inclined.
Mine, so I can read it.
I'll make a motion,
It's on the.
It's up there.
make a motion to approve the site plan 2025-02 special land use for 4695 North M37 Daycare Center. Support.
Your motion including all 4 of those conditions?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion with a second to approve site plan 2025-02 and the special use permit for a daycare center located at 4695 North M37 with that particular parcel number and the 4 conditions written in the staff memo. Commissioners, questions, comments, discussions? Bruce, what'd you have?
Yeah, I just want to know if she had any experience prior to this in running a daycare?
Yeah, do you want me to go back up there?
You're
If
good.
you wouldn't mind.
Oh, yeah, the audio recording, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, so I attended Grand Valley, when I was going towards my early childhood degree. I ended up leaving Grand Valley, but then I started working at Education Station here in town, and I worked there for a good 4.5 years. And then I left there to work at an autism center for a little while, and then became the director over at Thornapple Manor in their daycare inside of their building. So I've been in daycare for the past, I don't know, 8-9 years.
Yep, answers my question.
Thank you. Our special use, the special land use review, we have 10 conditions that are listed, and as staff has indicated that their opinion that all standards are met. So just for clarity, we'll go through them real quick. Principal use daycare center is just a tenant in the building. It is a multi-tenant building. In the site plan, we do have the layout of their part of that building. Maximum occupancy is 100 children, but she's indicated that 44, and that's just based on the space you have available to you.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, no way to put 100 kids in there and keep the fire chief happy. Hours of operation 6 to 6 falls within the 6 to 11 that special land use calls for. Indoor activities, except we will have an outdoor playground. Switching to site plan real quick. Nate's helped you with grading.
Yeah, and I've
Got
driven past there a little, like in the past week or two, and they've already started bulldozing the whole area and grading it all out, so.
We do have drop off and pickup zones indicated on the site plan, and if you look through that, it's on the perimeter of the parking lot, as we would expect. Site plan requirement, we do have a site plan in here we're looking at, shows parking circulation and our building layout. Licensing, she's going to stay licensed with the state. State's gonna handle that one for us. Outdoor play area fencing, she's gonna comply with the fencing requirements there, and proximity to other regulated facilities. And there are none within our guidelines there, no. And then no evening operations are proposed, so we don't have to worry about that. So I agree with staff's assessments for those 10 standards. Anyone have other opinions, questions?
The question I had,
Yeah.
has been answered, about the grading for the playground.
Yes, because that did come up during site plan review, and that was next on my list. Yeah, we'll see there where the playground is at, those topographical lines are really close together.
Yeah.
If I am not mistaken, which either one of you may notice, they're putting a drive in between that parcel and the Midville Flats.
That's correct.
Okay.
So that was the reason why it was important to determine where the playground was going based on that, so there's no encroachment.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that was one of the things that came up in site plan, and then we have the drawing, because special land use requires the drawing. So, any questions about the site plan?
I was there the night after work and walked around, in case anybody hollers about some old guy in that shirt, walking around. It looked, for what they were presenting and the grading and stuff that had been started, it looked good.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else, folks?
I'm good.
I'm good with you. All right, well, we have a motion on the floor that I will read in its entirety here. A motion to approve site plan 2025-02 and the special land use permit for a daycare center located at 4695 North M37. It's parcel number 41-022-135-00. It was submitted on September 24, 25, and is subject to the following conditions. Compliance with the special use standards for daycare centers is outlined in section 78-551. 2, all required state and local licensing shall be maintained at all times. 3, final grading, sidewalk, and fencing details shall be verified by staff prior to occupancy. And 4, compliance with all other applicable local and state codes. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get scrolling here. Further scrolling. Here we are. Next on our agenda is a preliminary planned unit development with the name of Kellogg Crossing. And we have Alan Edwin with us this evening. So let's see, I am looking for, Doug, did you have? Sorry, folks, give me 1 second. I was looking to see if you had something written, Doug.
So I do, I believe that's page 15, or is it 16?
This is a little more.
Yeah, page 15 of the packet. Wow. If you want, I can.
Oh,
some details.
yeah.
So as you see on the first page, the applicant, Alan Edwin, has submitted a preliminary plan unit development. Plan is for Kellogg Crossing, 426 single-family residential lots on approximately 12.08 acres of land zoned R1 single-family residential. The development would be accessed from Greenwood Street, and all streets within the subdivision are proposed to be public. As you know, I had provided a development table there that indicates how each of the proposed minimum size requirements either meets or, does not meet what the typical standards are for R1 zoning. This is typically expected within a PUD, and they do not necessarily need to meet the requirements. But I've, provide all of this information there. And then on the second page of that, you see that these are comments that were provided as part of the technical review committee's meeting that was held on October 6th. We made those comments there. Beyond that, I had made one note in regards to the financing, not applicable to this board, but just as I noted it on part of the proposed plan. But beyond that, that, and we note of the planning commission's authority. As you know, the PUDs, we first require a preliminary PUD, and then later they can submit the final PUD. However, the preliminary PUD is a matter for the planning commission's discretion, where the final PUD goes before the village council, as that also requires rezoning. I'd be more than happy to discuss any aspects that are in there. However, you'll note on page 3, I have provided a recommendation for the planning commission. With a few items on there, as the staff recommends that the planning commission approve the preliminary plan unit development for Kellogg Crossing, subject to the following conditions. 1, clarification of financing. The applicant shall receive the discrepancy between the privately financed note on the plan and the stated intent to seek brownfield TIF support prior to the final PUD review. 2, turn radius verification. The applicant shall confirm that the proposed street design provides adequate turn radii for emergency and service vehicles. And 3, mailbox locations. The final PUD submittal shall identify the proposed location of cluster or individual mailboxes. And 4, sidewalk and lighting details. The final PUD plan shall include sidewalk alignment and street lighting as specifications consistent with the village standards in neighboring developments. What I will say beyond these recommendations prior to the meeting, that financing information has been clarified, that I'm sure they will be working on that after, depending what happens tonight. The turn radii, that's not something that we typically, they've been informed about this, but that's not required documentation for a preliminary. It would be as part of the final. And they have inquired about our lighting standards, what types of lights we use within the village to try to meet or match, what is currently there. If there's anything I'm missing, I'd be more than happy to address that, but you should see the narrative attached along with the site plan renderings and the minutes that were bullet pointed on page 2.
Well, folks, I want to chat about this, so who's willing to make a motion?
We do also have the petitioners here as well.
Yes, we're gonna have a chat.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the preliminary PUD for Kellogg Crossing with a second. We're gonna have some discussion. Thanks for the updated map and so we had a site plan review meeting that Richard and I were at, and the updated drawing for the site does address almost everything that we had talked about. I do see the jog in the sidewalk on Bender. Keeping that as far off the street as we can, but still needing to jog around the utility pole there. For my fellow commissioners, if you're just seeing this site plan recently, you'll also notice on the south end of the PUD, there is a concrete sidewalk all the way down to about halfway through lot 20, and then it converts to, is that mode? Okay. It converts to a path back to the stormwater detention pond. And having that sidewalk there is, I feel, a great thing. It also, because there's an easement there for the water main. So it just kind of works, which is great. The Robin is a permanent cul-de-sac there, but Meadowlark, is that Meadow? Yes.
No.
No.
Other way around. Robin goes through.
Robin goes-
Meadowlark is a cul-de-sac.
Yeah. The one there is a temporary cul-de-sac with an extra easement, just like in Misty Ridge. It's a total of 25 lots. One lot is already occupied with a house. A couple other things that came up at site plan is it does look like Dan and Linda were not as forceful with fire pits and fences and things encroaching a bit. And so the applicant does know that that is not a village matter. It is a matter for them to work out with those other property owners. Which doesn't surprise me that it happened in the past, how many years it's been there. Site plan, we asked them to show the mailboxes because the postmaster is going to require community boxes. Did the postmaster say anything about lot 25 and 26, or are we just gonna stick?
I'm still waiting on a response on all that, but we want to put them there, but I'm guessing he's probably gonna tell us to make them go into the sub.
I have a feeling that anybody buying those lots is just gonna stick mailbox on here. But
It could happen.
yeah, well, it's only a net increase of one mailbox because Linda's mailbox is already on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, the two new streets would have the cluster boxes and those are shown. And we did ask them to show lighting, and we do see that there are 2 new street lights on each street. And I'm confident that they will put in the consumers' energy appropriate units that consumers will maintain like they do in Misty Ridge and Rolling Oaks. Because I'm assuming it'll be those that post with the light on the top. Well, so you've read the narrative, you've seen the drawings, you've seen Doug's report. If we look at the page 1 of Doug's report, where you're asking for the PUD to decrease some of our, R1 requirements. And if you, I think it fits because all of the houses that are already in the downs are so far under our current R1 requirements that these units here transitioning to larger lots than that are in the downs, but not the full R1. Kind of as maybe in the future, maybe if the field next to it, develops, then we can get the full R1 there as a nice, so the transition into those. So if you look on the drawing, you can see some of the lots are significantly larger, even if you omit Linda's current lot, at 40,000 square feet. Most of them are looking, they're 8 to 10. So some of them are actually larger in square footage than R1 requires. A lot of them are super close. And then we do have the open space with the path around the detention pond. We're showing some park benches around that. So a little community space for these guys. Not particularly applicable today, but it would be for final. We've got plans for an HOA to take care of that open space.
Correct. Yeah.
So folks, questions, comments?
I have a question.
These are all proposed, single family, owner occupied.
Yeah.
Do you want me to step up to the mic so I can?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Just make sure it's all formal. Yeah, so these will all be single family homes.
Owner occupied?
Owner occupied. I'm fairly certain they'd be all owner occupied, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
The reason I asked the question is that what went on in Rolling Oaks, with the homeowners association wording, it was all supposed to be single family owner occupied. Somebody, and I have to assume it was Alan Edwin, removed the owner occupied section of that without notifying anybody, went down to Hastings and just removed it. And they turned into a bunch of rentals.
Well, unfortunately, the planning commission, we can't zone for.
I understand.
If I can make a
I'm just
note
trying to
too.
get an idea what's going on.
Any of the bylaws have not been recorded
Yeah.
showing, owner occupied,
I understand that.
any of the existings.
But yeah, it is all detached, single family.
Right, but you intend for some of them to be rental units, I take it.
I think generally, we've kind of moved away from sprinkling rentals into communities with retail. I think we've kind of transitioned away from that. So I can't say 100%, but typically on the average project, we're not really doing that anymore.
Steve?
Just past experiences we've had in other communities where police and fire have had a very tough time getting down streets, especially when cars are parked there and we don't have room for a fire truck with a parked car and all that type of stuff.
This, that did come up at site plan, and if you look at the cutaway at the bottom, it is at our 26 foot.
And fire was okay with it. They looked at it.
Yeah, because we
Yes,
increased.
the fire department, the
to
chief
26
reviewed this
on-
prior to. And he'll also require, as mentioned in the comments, he'll require as part of the final to have demonstration that their fire truck would be able to sufficiently turn and move around the neighborhood. The developer is fully aware of that.
Richard?
Yeah, I'd just like to know, when you started out designing this, what this would look like if you stuck to the requirements of an R1, instead of having this proposed reduction in space. Some of these lots are really pretty small. And secondly, I know it's similar to the Downs, but quite frankly, I don't think Middleville ever wants to repeat another Downs. My frontage is on Main Street, my property butts up to that area. I could have bought all of that land I chose not to because people that lived along Greenwood on that side, on the north side of that street, all the stuff that they didn't want in their yard ended up on somebody else's property. It's really cramped. Somebody wants to put a shed in there, there's gonna, I don't know what it's gonna look like. So my question is, did you set out to design this for maximizing the space for lots or to comply with the R1?
So we looked at the R1 and I think the difference in yield was like maybe 3 or 4 lots. So we proposed this, we felt that it was a good transition from the downs, larger than a lot of the lots in there. And with the cost sensitivity of construction these days, it's very, very difficult to make just a lot of projects work. So if we can get a few more units, our cost basis can go down. And we felt it was appropriate here, so that's what we proposed.
So you mind if I add on to that too? So one other item, not sure if it's in my report, but regarding the future land use plan, indicating low density residential with approximately 3 to 4 units per acre, that with that transition, this could actually accommodate, far more housing in accordance with their master plan. Our zoning just hasn't been updated to accommodate that yet.
Well, can you go back, what was the setbacks or the distance between the houses? That was on like what your comments were?
Oh, the side yard setbacks? Right, side yard is,
It's like 12 feet or something?
yeah,
Goodness.
which is not,
Yeah, I can't get behind that.
well, if you look on the map on Greenwood there.
Yep.
Yeah, they're closer than that.
Well, I understand that.
So the zoning was
This-
modified
It's
for.
just like the roads that were too narrow. Well, okay, we'll just transition to something, a couple feet this time, a couple feet next time. That doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't.
So in Charleston Heights, I'm 6 1/4 feet off my lot line on the side, one side, but I'm at the end of the cul-de-sac too. So I personally, I don't have a problem with the 12-foot side yard.
7 feet. And I lived up there at 87 feet. Yeah,
That doesn't mean this, anything.
no, but we have a standard / precedent that we kind of set too.
Yeah.
And if I could slightly address that, so these lots are proposed at 70 feet wide. Most of our product is 40 feet wide. And we always center the home on the center of the lot. So in reality, you should have, what is that, roughly 15 feet on an average home to the side yard.
Which lots would this affect, do you think, if it was set at the full 7 feet on each side?
Yeah, I don't think we'd really have an issue at going to 7.
Correct.
Yep.
So you propose this just because right now you haven't done the housing element to be able to verify for 100% that that's accurate.
Correct. It just allows us a little bit more, if someone wants to pick a wide home plan and maybe put a 3rd stall garage on it, we don't do a ton of those, but it just gives us a little bit more flexibility. If someone wanted to come in there and build a large house, there's a little bit more flexibility, so.
Well, so we do have a motion on the floor that does indicate 6 feet per side for 12 feet total. If somebody wanted to make a motion to amend that, they are more than welcome.
Let's, again,
You have a motion that's been supported,
Yeah,
can't be amended.
yes,
We can make a motion.
Yeah, we can make a motion to amend.
Vote this down and
No, you can make one motion to amend.
you can go to. So.
Okay.
Looking at this where we see the bulk of the lots are 70 feet wide. Obviously, some of the ones at the end of the cul-de-sac are smaller at the cul-de-sac end. But even looking at those building envelopes, there's still wide in the middle where the house would sit. We figure what the smallest lot is just under 8,000 square feet.
So lot 4.
Yeah, lot 4 is the smallest. The bulk of them are just under 10,000 square feet or just over 10,000 square feet. I personally don't have a problem with the 6 feet.
Well, I see 2 cars in the family, one of them's gonna be sitting in the yard.
Well,
I mean, that's ridiculous.
the houses are if we look at the products that this developer has built in the village, there's not been any single stall garages built. Yeah, so
We don't offer those.
yeah.
But there's been a ton of third concrete, so there's a third place to park a car.
Well, that's a homeowner's prerogative. If they
As long as he doesn't go up against the
slap
setbacks.
if they slap some more concrete down, that's up to the future homeowner. So,
Yeah, but again, that has to be, as far as this 6 foot,
Yeah.
7 foot, it has to be within that still.
yes, yeah. If you notice between the 2 new streets in the backyards of all those lots, there's a thick line that is the gas main the gas pipe that runs through town. So there's the easement there. There is a storm sewer easement between 8 and 9 and then 18 and 19. There's a water easement between 6 and 7. And so those particular lots will have an even larger side yard setback to those easements. So.
And again, just for my own edification here, this, south of this is just open field?
Yeah, it's, no, Rosenberg's.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it's a cornfield right now.
Yeah, I understand that, right?
Yeah.
It's just open field.
Yeah,
Part of the township.
Hmm?
It's in the township.
yeah, it's not.
The other is just-
All right, are we discussed out? Commented out? All right, we have a motion with a second to approve the preliminary PUD for Kellogg Crossing. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. Oh shit, did we need a roll call on that?
No, you don't need a roll call. So I believe we said 1 day.
You didn't
Maybe we
amend
had
it,
to.
you did not amend
Nobody made the motion to amend it.
it. Right. Exactly.
We had to. Motion carried though. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. We have from the clerk a meeting schedule for 2026.
So there's 2 meetings, I believe, that are scheduled for Wednesdays. Because as you may know, that those are because we have holidays. Because our bylaws require us to meet the first Tuesday of the month. So any of those other dates, that without significant amendments, there would be no possibility for change.
Yeah, because we'll have a primary and the general election.
So yeah, this is more for informational purposes. So everyone please make note of this for next year, so we can make sure that we have a quorum.
While we're talking about meeting schedules real quick, when's our submittal deadline for December?
Our submittal deadline is, it depends on whether it's a public hearing or if it's regular business, but it's typically 10 days prior, that being 10 business days. So that would be, December. So that would be approximately November 20th.
Alright. I know you don't know, but speculation on actionable business for
I
December?
don't have any intentions of there being business. I think it's very likely that we may end up postponing, and it may be advisable that the board is one of their action items for January. We just rediscuss committee appointments as we've had a couple committee members
Yeah,
resign.
you just push it off till then. That's fine. Okay. Okay, talking about committees, the ordinance committee did not meet. Did Amanda meet by herself?
I met by myself, sure, we'll go with that.
The site plan met, for these two items from tonight. We'll talk about committee appointments in January. Maybe we'll have another member, maybe. Any committee stuff, Doug?
No.
Okay.
No committees.
All right, that moves us to Doug's administrator's report.
So first thing I'd like to say is thank you, Steve Baldry, for joining us. Certainly glad to have you on the planning commission. We value your experience and would love to see you continue to engage on this commission. Beyond that, another thing I'd like to note is that we did receive earlier this week, on Tuesday, we received the revitalization award for the Mid-Villa project. That was part of the Berry County Chamber's Economic Development Success Summit. That was this Tuesday. If any of you were able to attend, that award was granted to us, so that'll be permanently placed at the Village Hall. Beyond that, you will see that there are multiple or a handful of petitions or permits that have been provided. We do have, there's been no real ordinance updates that we'll touch base on in January. However, our master and marketing plan, from the marketing perspective, that the DDA board has had an opportunity to review. So we certainly do anticipate moving forward with that project early in 2026, where we will then work towards a master plan in 2027. However, from a public feedback perspective, there will be public feedback for 2026, so we don't, over-survey the community. So there will be some work associated with the master plan, but it's being bundled as part of the marketing plan. Beyond that, I just got done with a TED Talk for Housing TIF, so I had to get here a while before. But certainly anyone with any comments, questions, or concerns, I'd be more than happy to address those. But I do not anticipate us having any business for December. I will not be able to be here if we do have business, but if there is need for the board to meet, we will work that out either which way. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Questions for Doug?
We have two proposals tonight with the public hearing, so I know it's got things going on. Oh, also, another note that our code enforcement officer, it was his last day today that he has retired.
Well then.
Yeah, we have Mr. Pergler's final report here.
Yeah.
Well, the moratorium, the resolution on the RV front yard parking, when did that end?
So I believe that was October 27th.
Okay.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Because we base the moratorium date typically on when the county expo center opens it up to the public.
All right, questions, comments about code enforcement?
Or I assume we're looking for somebody to do that job, or?
So that's something that we'll have to start doing next week.
Looking for jobbers?
No.
Be up at 3 in the morning.
No.
The winter time.
I
Not that
was
often.
pleased to see some tags on some cars that were parked overnight.
Yeah.
now that it has moved into November. So,
So yeah, a handful of these have since been resolved since this report was drafted. But, there are no, current code enforcement issues that have received citations or further escalation from the courts. These are all just notices.
yeah, well, yeah, the tech I saw on the truck.
Yep.
On Charles the other day was probably just from the.
Yeah, our officer this Tuesday, he went through and did a night run as we had close to a full moon. And I believe he had notified 34 residents. Yeah, updating them about when it's appropriate to park and they cannot park in the public roads for the plow trucks.
That's a good thing.
All right, anything else? Mr. Burkler? All right, second public comment session, but they all left.
Guess there's none.
Commissioner comments? Anyone got some yelling to do?
Yeah, I do. Could you put a bug in our officer's ear that we have some high schoolers going 2x2 down Irving after school? Please and thank you. Or else there's gonna be a nail in the road. No, now that the road's nice again, and I know they can't go back in their normal parking spot by the wellhead, but, we got some teenagers going from the top of the hill to the next top of the hill. I'm sure they live in that housing development, but please let somebody know.
And I assume it's gonna be addressed, but across from the apartment development with those flats, where they have done it tied in some kind of utility, that sidewalks all torn up. You know, when they're gonna get after that, it's also into the actual road.
So I don't have a firm date on that, but can certainly, try to reach out to our public works and see if they do have a better estimate. 'Cause yeah, that was certainly a significant project. Luckily now,
It's just,
it's,
somebody's gonna get hurt, especially on a piece of the road where it's cut.
I'm sure many of you noted that came all the way down to Charles.
Yeah,
The work that was done with the gas line.
yeah, that came all the way.
I see that they've got just the center lane.
Yeah, now that they're repairing the sidewalks back in. Yeah,
They-
I was pleased to see that the sidewalks are gonna start getting put back in before
Yeah.
it snows.
Absolutely.
Maybe they'll get done before it snows.
They better hurry.
If we change a meeting date, can you send an invite?
Will do.
Thank you.
You too?
Yes. New kid on the block, but I met with Doug last week and went through the agenda and proposals tonight. I don't want you to think I just showed up and shuffled some papers.
So most of us do.
I do try to come prepared.
We are
I do
recording.
my discovery before I come.
I look forward to your long tenure on the commission, Steve.
So, just-
Wait, we're only supposed to be here for 10?
So, just one
Tenure.
quick question. The preliminary PUD that we just approved, what's the next step?
The next step is a final PUD, which, so the final PUD will come to us, and then we will make a recommendation to council.
Because the council
Because
has
it's a
to
rezoning,
approve
so it's gotta go
rezonings.
through council. Yeah,
We can approve site plans.
and so and part of that PUD, some of that, most of it's in our purview, but council can
Yeah,
do counseling,
well, and as
do what they will.
I've noticed that once the preliminary is approved, the chances of it going to be changed much is pretty much gone.
Things have changed before, but
So the previous PUD, or a few PUDs ago, it was withdrawn and then modified before it came back,
yeah.
because it was not approved at the council level. So it
So now
it
it's
really,
council, not here.
well, this board can certainly make modifications to it.
Yeah.
It really just depends on where the issues are with concerns or alignment.
All right, folks, I'm gonna make the motion that we adjourn.
I will support that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Douglas,
Yes, I'm here. I'm not running yet.
Are you sure?
we were talking about live communication. And I, a little bit, and I told you I thought I had something.